With a war band of gnolls in hot pursuit, Octavia and Karhun are making their stand. Will they survive the encounter? Will the gnolls' ravenous hunger be their downfall? Or is it time to pay the Gnoll toll? Welcome to Me, My Spouse, and a Die.
Everybody, welcome to Me, My Spouse, and a Die. I am Gwyneth, your resident ASMR, Octavia Marguerite Sinclair.
And I am Austin, your resident Dungeon Master.
If you like what you hear in the next hour, please rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes or your preferred podcast app. The best way for us to grow right now is by sharing us with your friends. So please tell your RPG group about us, or any of your nerdy friends who you think might be interested.
Or any of your non-nerdy friends, because we think this show is accessible to people of all walks of life.
That is very true.
Show us to everyone. Walking down the street, just look at a person and say, "Hey, have you heard Me, My Spouse, and a Die?"
And they'll be like, "No, what's that?"
Given a meeting at your work, just say, "Hey, thanks for listening. And by the way, have you heard of Me, My Spouse, and a Die? It's a great podcast." Riding the bus, just grab their phone, the person sitting next to you, and be like, "Hey, quit looking at whatever it is you're looking at. Go to Me, My Spouse, and Die." And when we say rate, we mean 5 stars, please. None of that 1-star crap.
I mean, yeah, like, if you
We
have
love
something critical to say, like, maybe say it to us privately, and then we can improve.
I'm very self-conscious, and you don't want to hurt my feelings, do you? No. So I think it's crazy that we are recording episode 7 right now. I don't know if it's too much of a glimpse behind the curtain, but we're recording episode 7, and we haven't actually released anything publicly. We're still a little over a week out from our official launch date. But we wanted to get a bunch in the tank because, I mean, I'm a grad student and she's an attorney, so our schedules are somewhat, they can be complicated.
Yeah.
So we wanted to get some in the tank so that if we have to miss a week, if we can't record on a certain week, that you guys don't suffer, and that we constantly have content to put out regardless of whether we can record that week or not. So it'll probably be a solid, month or so before anybody hears this particular episode, but I think it's cool. We're recording episode 7. I'm excited. I love Gnolls. They're my favorite low-level monster. I love them. So I'm ready to go.
You really parted the kimono there, my love. But no, it's so true. Like, it's really exciting to have these in the tank, because you never are kind of sure what happens there with life, and so it's like we really want to be consistent for y'all, and if we say that we're going to release weekly, we're going to do everything in our power to release weekly, and if that means having pre-recorded a decent number of episodes prior to even launching, so that we make sure that we can do that for y'all, like that's what we're gonna do. So I am very excited to have this kind of like first really like intensive combat for Octavia. She is out of wild shapes. She is down 1 second level spell slot, so she is relegated to 1 second level spell, and then all of her first level spells, and then of course cantrips. I shouldn't let you know this as the DM. I know, but I want our listeners to know in what dire straits Octavia finds herself in.
Haha. Well, I am excited, so let's just jump into it. Before we get right into it, I will just say, our sounds and music today, as always, are provided by Syrinscape. That's Syrin Scape. Check them out at Syrinscape.com. I think they're adding a lot to these podcast episodes, so if you want to add that same something to your weekly game or your podcast, check them out. They do good work. So, without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, so you find yourself in a copse of evergreen trees. You've been running throughout the night. You and Karhun are tired. You're panting, but you are lying down covered in mud, sort of dug into potentially shallow graves.
Hey now! Don't sound so excited.
Covered in pine needles and dead grass, trying to conceal yourselves from the band of gnolls that you know are approaching, dead on your tails. You've heard them coming all night, hot in pursuit, and you see them cresting a hill, approaching you from the south. You know there are 6 gnolls in total who are chasing you.
Okay.
You've set a trap. You've hidden yourselves in this copse of trees, trying to give yourself some cover, try to separate yourselves to give you as many advantages as you can, because you know this will be a tough fight.
Yeah.
So, these gnolls are approaching. Within a few seconds, they will be at this copse of trees. What do you do?
Well, I have a ready to action that once they get to my trap, and ostensibly one of the gnolls gets caught up in the trap, I am going to release a spell.
Okay. So you and Karhun just stay silent, dead still. Roll me a stealth check. I'll say you can have advantage because you're already hidden, but
Okay.
basically to account for your breathing, to account for any subtle motions or movements you may be making.
Okay.
For both of you.
Okay. Sorry, you said stealth, right?
Yes.
Okay.
For both.
I'm sorry, did you say with advantage because we were preparing?
Yeah, so you're both hidden right now. This is basically just a stealth check to say,
Okay.
like, do you cough while you are covered in these pine needles to alert these gnolls to your presence?
Okay. So Octavia rolls a 15, and ooh, hot dang. Karhun rolls a 21. He is silence incarnate.
Yeah, you both feel like you're doing a pretty good job of staying silent after a few very tense minutes. You hear the padding of footfalls approaching this copse of trees, and you can see from your vantage points a group of 6 gnolls approaching, spears in hand, their bloodshot eyes and little hyena-like ears peaked, listening for any sound of movement they can find. They wear armor that's covered in trophies from battles past, human fingers and ears and things strung up on strings around their necks. They're all sort of snarling and yipping and biting at each other. They approach this copse of trees, and they are all sniffing about. And they're going to roll a perception check to see what they see.
Fail!
There seems to be one sort of who's in the lead of this band, and it's sniffing the ground. It pads its way up to this group of trees, and it's looking up and looking over, and it scans its beady eyes across the ground. And it takes a step forward onto the spot of your trap.
Yes!
And fwang, it triggers
Yes!
your trap. The rope begins to constrict around its leg, and it is going to attempt to jump out, but it rolls a natural 4. Your hempen rope constricts on its leg and flings it high into the air. It is suspended, hanging upside down. It drops its spear, which clangs to the ground, and it is hanging by its foot in the air, helpless. The 5 other gnolls recoil and point their spears at whatever hidden threat there may be. I'm going to have everyone roll initiative, and I'll let you cast your spell in a surprise round.
Sounds good. All right.
Let's go.
Octavia's initiative is... that is only 11.
Okay.
And then Karhun's initiative is...
X.
Right, it is 13. Not very great.
All right. The band of gnolls rolls a Pretty good. They roll a 19, so they will go first.
Except for my surprise round.
Except you get a surprise round.
Okay.
So, please.
How close are all of the other gnolls to the gnoll that is up in the air?
The other gnolls, so they're probably right on the edge of this copse of trees. So they're, just for convenience's sake, I'll put them within about 30 feet of you and Karhun's hiding spots.
I don't care how close they are to me. How close are they to the gnoll that is up in the air? To my trap?
Oh, they're very close. I'll say they're about 15 feet away. That
okay.
gnoll sort of stepped forward, but the rest of them are hanging back, but not too far back. So
okay.
yeah, they're only about 15 feet away.
Oh, so like okay. Are they within like 10 feet, or are they literally within 15 feet?
Well, since you're asking it like that, let me resort to my smiley face dice, shall we?
Roll with advantage.
That is a smiley face with angry eyebrows. So I will say that 3 of them are within 10 feet.
Okay.
And 2 of them
are not.
about 15 to 20 feet away.
Okay. So, with the trap being sprung, and with 3 of them being within 10 feet, Octavia's readied spell is triggered, and she calls down from the heavens, as is especially appropriate that it is night, she calls down a moonbeam.
Ah, okay.
So I would like all of the gnolls that are within this 10-foot diameter to make a Constitution saving throw. And I would imagine that the constrained gnoll would make that at disadvantage because he cannot move.
If it was a dexterity saving throw, I would rule he automatically fails. But since it is a Constitution saving throw, that does not apply.
I mean, yeah, if it's a dex save, I would assume he would auto-fail, but I'm not asking for an auto-fail, I'm just asking for disadvantage.
Well, we will see. I'll roll for the 3 who are not constrained first.
Okay.
Oh, where were these rolls last time? Do you want to know what I rolled? I rolled 3d20.
Uh-huh.
I rolled a natural 19.
Uh-huh.
A natural 20.
Oh!
And a natural 20.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
I am not joking.
Oh.
I would take a picture.
I'm getting, a bit
so
in the behind.
I'm gonna guess that is 3 passes. The one who is constrained... Yeah, you know what? He's constrained. He's in a trap. I'll roll at disadvantage. It rolls a Constitution, you say?
Yes.
That is a 10, so I'm gonna guess that is a failure.
Oh, that is indeed a fail. So the one who is constrained fails. Those other 3 succeed, but...
They take half?
They still take half. Alrighty.
Perfect. Alright, roll me that damage, baby.
So that is 11 damage, so the constrained gnoll takes 11. Radiant damage. I don't know if with them being evil creatures, if that applies. And then the people who fail, who succeeded, they take only 5. Because they take half.
I think they take 6. I think the rule is round up.
Oh, is it
Maybe it's
round up?
down.
Oh! I mean, if you want to round up for their damage, I'm fine.
I'm gonna say, because we only have 1 player here, I'm gonna round up. So suck it.
Sounds
so they
good.
all take 6.
All right. So they take 6 damage, and the one who's constrained takes 11.
11. Beautiful. So a radiant beam of light shoots down from the sky and encompasses these groups of gnolls, and the one constrained howls wildly. I don't know how to mimic a hyena. It's very difficult. And the other 3 seem hurt by it, singed, but not as much as they could have been. So it is their turn.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. If it starts its turn there, you must also make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay, yeah, we enter the actual initiative out of the surprise round. So since all of the gnolls go first, the one who is incapacitated makes a Constitution saving throw. That is a 3.
That is
a fail.
a fail.
And then the other 3 make... One of them passes with a natural 18. The other two rolled natural 6s. So that is going to be 2 fails. So
Alrighty.
1 success and 3 failures. Roll me that damage again. Good choice of spell.
Thank you. So the ones who failed, I'll take 9.
Okay.
And then the one who succeeds, if we're rounding up, take 5.
Okay, 9 points of damage.
For the ones who fail.
For the fails, and 5 for the one who doesn't.
Correct.
Okay, perfect. Alright, so, as they remain in this beam of radiant light, they begin to yippee louder. You know you're causing a significant amount of harm to them. So they still don't know exactly where you are. Tell me, do you have the spell Moonbeam in front of you?
I do.
Does it require somatic components and verbal components?
It does.
Alright, roll me a stealth check versus their perception check to see if they can figure out where you
I am.
are.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm just gonna roll a group check for them.
13.
13, okay, perception. They roll, yes, they rolled a 14.
Oh, okay.
So as you cast this spell, they see... Yep, just barely. They see movement, just in this little lump of dirt, barely in front of them. So they know they see you, and the ones who are able ready their spears and look towards you. Although they don't seem to have seen Karhun yet.
Okay. So does Karhun still have like a surprise action that he may do?
You didn't specify that Karhun had any ready to action.
That was my bad.
I mean, I think it would be really hard for him to, like, have a bow and arrow readied while hiding in a shallow hole, so I think that makes sense.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna say the 3 who were caught in the moonbeam, who have seen you, they're all going to... they're gonna approach you.
Okay.
So 3 of them walk up to you, and they're going to take stabs at you with their spears. That is an...
Do I get any cover with being in kind of a copse?
I was going to say, technically, since you're prone, they should have advantage on these hits.
But I'm not like...
rolled.
I'm not like prone.
I mean...
I'm like prepared prone.
Yeah, so we're gonna... I just rolled regularly. We're gonna leave it at that.
Okay.
Again, 1 player, I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt as far as combat situations go. But one of them rolls an 11 to hit, one of them rolls an 8 to hit, and one of them rolls a 20 non-natural to hit.
The 20 does indeed hit.
Alright, they stab at you, and you manage to roll out of one spear, roll out of the path of another spear, but then one pierces you for 7 points of piercing damage.
Oh man,
the
that's
other
ugly.
The other 2, they know that they were chasing 2 individuals, not one. They're gonna make a perception check to see if they can locate the second individual.
Okay.
Have Karhun roll me a stealth check.
Okay.
They rolled a 10.
Well, he rolled a 12.
Alright, Karhun remains hidden for the time being.
Okay.
It is your turn.
Okay.
Wait, sorry. It is Karhun's turn, and then it's your turn.
Okay. So they have not seen Karhun yet.
They do not know where Karhun is currently.
Okay.
I'll say they approached. They're maybe about 15 feet away at this point. They've sort of moved their way into this copse of trees, sniffing around, looking for signs of another humanoid.
Okay, sorry, you said 15 feet away?
Yeah, so they're probably about 15 feet away.
Okay. The 3 that got caught in the moonbeam, where are those other 2?
The 3 that are caught in the moonbeam walked up to you, so they are surrounding you because they stabbed you with spears. The other 2 are the ones who approached looking for Karhun, so they have stepped. They're about 15 feet within you and him.
And then there's still one that's just dangling from the trees.
And there's still one who was dangling from the trees, yes.
Okay.
What's Karhun do?
He is going to burst out from our hiding place, grasping his great axe, and is going to strike at one of those two close gnolls.
Okay, he bursts out, he rushes up, and he swings his great axe. Roll me.
That is going to be a 22 to hit.
What was it on the die?
16.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, he's got a good to hit.
Yeah.
He cleaves into this guy.
Okay.
Roll me that damage, baby.
Oh, nice. That is going to be 11 slashing damage. Yeah,
Karhun's a monster.
He is. I like Karhun. I mean,
Karhun.
Octavia has mixed feelings about him, but...
But you, the player,
But Karhun. Me, I'm like, yeah, Karhun!
Karhun cleaves into this gnoll, and it sort of springs back and yelps as his great axe slashes it across the chest. Your turn.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm going to be asking a lot about space.
Sure.
So... The three gnolls that had been caught in the moonbeam that were not up in the air are approaching me. They're stabbing me with spears, yada, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. So how much of a distance is it in between me and the gnoll that is up in the air?
So they moved up. They were about 30 feet away. They moved their full distance. The other two moved about halfway. So he's... I'll say he's sort of in the middle of this. He's probably about 15 feet away in front of you, whereas the Karhun is probably 20 feet to your one side, and then the other gnolls are in front of you, but he's about 15 feet away and 10 or so feet off the ground,
in the air.
We'll say.
So if they're stabbing me with spears, I'm assuming they're not adjacent to me, that they're like 5 feet away?
No, spears do not have reach.
Oh, wait, really?
Yeah, spears. Spears don't have reach. Spears they are adjacent.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
If you were to just run, you would get a bunch of opportunity attacks.
Okay. Well, then I am going to move the moonbeam on top of those three guys that are adjacent to me.
Okay.
And as bonus action, I'm going to cast Shillelagh on my staff.
Okay, you do that. So, wait, what is it to move the moonbeam?
It is unfortunately a whole action. It's not a bonus action. And so at the start of their next turn, those gnolls will have to make a con save again.
I see. So you stay where you are. You cast Shillelagh on your staff.
Mm-hmm.
It hums with a magical energy, and then the moonbeam begins to shift over and encompasses the three gnolls in front of you. I love it. Does it matter if you are in the diameter?
I'm going to make it so that I'm not.
Okay. So it encompasses those three.
Yes.
And it comes back to the top of the round 2. So we have the three in front of you. The one who is hanging, I'm going to guess, is no longer inside this pillar of light. So the other 3, 1, 2, 3, are going to make Constitution saving throws, yes?
Yes.
Ooh. Gnoll number 1 rolls a critical fail. Gnoll number 2 rolls a natural 19. And Gnoll number 3 rolls a natural 4. So that's going to be 2 failures and a success.
Okay, does the 1 take double damage?
No.
Oh, don't blame me for asking.
No.
Alrighty, so that is... Okay, that is going to be 11 for the gnolls that failed.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're rounding up, that's 6?
6, yep.
For the gnoll that succeeded.
Gnoll number 2, who out of the gnolls who have been hit by the moonbeam had the most hit points left, had 11 hit points left. He dies.
Yes! 1 down!
Gnoll number 3 had 7 hit points left. He dies.
Yeah!
Gnoll number 2, who succeeded his save, had 7 hit points left.
Oh,
he is inches from death.
Oh, he has 1 hit point left!
But you slide this moonbeam over to you. It encompasses these 3 gnolls, and 2 of them just wither up and fall. They crumble to dust in front of you, and there is just 1 left.
Yes!
So there's 1 in front of you, 1 hanging from his toes, and 2 who are right in front and engaged in melee with Karhun Osiris.
Okay.
It is... So it's still the Gnoll's turn.
Okay.
So, the incapacitated one is going to try to wriggle free, having caught his bearings. I'm going to set this as a DC... he just has to basically cut the rope, so I'm going to call it a DC 13 dexterity save.
Okay.
And it rolls a natural 13. It cuts... It manages to cut the rope and falls to the ground. Now, it is 10 feet up, so it takes 1d6 falling damage. And...
Oh my gosh, what did you roll?
I rolled a 6.
Oh, yes! Sorry, I shouldn't laugh, but yay!
Wait, I have written down here that he had 2 hit points left.
I mean, he had disadvantage, and so he was hit
That's
with
right,
the
he
moonbeam.
failed twice.
Yeah, he failed twice, and so he got the full brunt of the moonbeam twice.
Wow, what an idiot. He chops the rope holding his leg. He plummets to the ground, and he just hits his head right on a rock, splits it open, and he falls limp and twitching to the ground.
Oh, no!
Son of a gun. Wow. All right. Well...
That falling damage gets you every time.
Gets me every time. All right, the one in front of you who is still alive is going to take a... It is going to stab at you with its spear.
Okay.
It is going to grab onto it with both hands and try to really jam it in. So if it hits, it will do slightly more damage.
Okay.
He rolls a... Natural 6. That's a 10 total.
Yeah! It misses.
That is a miss. It glances off your whatever kind of armor you are wearing, and the gnoll snarls in your face. Its breath stinks of rotting meat and gross things.
Octavia snarls like right back. I'm like, boy, I was just a bear. I know how to snarl right back at you.
The other 2 next to Karhun, both are going to hit their spears, take stabs at him.
Okay.
One of them rolls a 9, one of them rolls a 14 to hit.
I'm assuming the 14 hits.
You have his sheet. What is his AC?
Oh, well, did they roll a natural 14, or that was a...
No. That's adjusted.
Oh, neither of them hit then.
Okay.
Sorry.
If it's a natural roll, I will say natural.
I was just assuming.
Yep. Total of 14.
Well, both of them miss then.
They both take stabs and they're snarling at his face, and he again snarls right back as their spears glance off his armor as well. It is Karhun's turn. There are 2 gnolls engaged in front of him. What does he do?
He is going to target the same gnoll that he hit last time with his great axe. He's going to grasp it in both hands? Is a great axe a 2-handed weapon?
No.
Okay.
It is a 2-handed weapon, but it doesn't give it any benefit from being 2-handed.
Just for flavor's sake, he's going to take it in 2 hands, and he's going to hoist it above his head and bear down on this gnoll for a 13?
13 is a miss. The gnoll dodges deftly out of the way as his axe cleaves the air next to it.
Had too
it
much
is your
oomph.
turn.
Too much oomph, not enough.
Too much oomph. Alright, your turn. What do you do?
Alright.
One gnoll is standing directly in front of you. Looks like it's clinging on to life by a claw.
How far away is Karhun again? And the gnolls in front
Karhun's
of him?
about 20 feet to your left. And the gnolls are adjacent to him.
Are they adjacent closer to me, or are they adjacent, like, in front of him?
They are in front of him, so the closest one is probably about 25 feet away.
Huh. Okay.
What does Octavia do? Hooda boop 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 boop.
Octavia is going to move the moonbeam on top of the 2 gnolls that are adjacent to Karhun.
Okay, what's the range on how to move a moonbeam?
I can move it up to 120 feet as an action. And that's going to be my action.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure that's not the range? I think you could probably move it 30 feet.
I am sorry. I'm sorry. I misread it. I can move it 60 feet.
Okay. I can buy that.
I just misread the one thing.
No, you're good.
Sorry
you're good.
about
Yeah,
that.
The moonbeam begins to carve a path through this copse of trees 60 feet, encompassing the other 2 gnolls.
Yes. And then that's my full action.
That is your action.
Yes, and that is all I can do.
Alright, I mean, you can move if you want to.
Yeah, I'm gonna incur from this guy.
It's true. Alright, so it comes back to round, 3, 4?
I think it's just round 3, honestly.
I think it's just 3. You made pretty quick work of these guys. Moonbeam's a good spell.
It's been doing good.
It has been doing great, and I have not been rolling particularly well.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, that's good. You move this moonbeam. It is now encompassing the 2 gnolls in front of Karhun. They are going to roll Constitution saving throws.
Yes.
I'll say the one who is wounded is my green die. The other one is my blue and white die.
Okay.
So the wounded one rolls a Constitution. That is a 5. Oh my gosh, they both rolled 5s.
Oh, I'm so sorry, but they both fail.
Wow, every D20 is just garbage. Maybe I need to roll the boulder.
Oh, that is true. You never know. It usually rolls quite well for y'all. So they are going to take the full brunt of this moonbeam for a total of 8 points of radiant damage.
8 points of radiant damage. Alright, they squeal and howl as they also are engulfed in this radiant beam of damaging light. One of them similarly looks like it is grasping onto life by a forefinger. The other one looks alright. It hadn't been touched.
Right.
But one of them is not looking so good. So one of them is in front of you. Mm-hmm. 2 of them are in front of Karhun. Mm-hmm. The one in front of you makes a roll. It is going to attack you with its spear.
I still can't believe that a spear is not a reach weapon. Sorry.
I mean, you can throw it. But I mean, there's like lances and glaives and stuff for reach weapons.
I know, but I mean, like, usually spears are really long.
I rolled a natural 2 against you, so that's...
I'm so sorry. Except I'm not.
I need new die. I need new dice.
I'm
need
sorry,
new
bud.
D20s.
I thought your gummy fish were doing so good for you.
I mean, last time we recorded, I rolled like 4 natural 1s. I've rolled 3 natural 1s now. I've rolled like 5s and 2s and 3s.
Oh.
Man.
Oh, bud.
Well, the 2 against Karhun are going to roll. I rolled 2 natural 20s on saves.
You did.
Oh my gosh. I rolled another 5 and then a natural 13, which is going to be a 17 to hit.
The 17 hits.
Finally. Goodness. Okay, one of their spears finds purchase in Karhun's fleshy body, and he takes 5 points of piercing damage. The gnoll howls out in savage victory. Karhun, it is his turn. You are up next.
All right.
There are 2 gnolls directly in front of him.
Okay.
Jabbing at him with spears.
He is going to take his gray axe and swing at the gnoll that looks less damaged.
Less damage.
Correct.
Okay.
That is a 16 to hit.
16 is a hit.
Yeah, baby. Oh my gosh, that is minimum damage of 3 slashing damage. Man.
3 points of damage. Oh, you hit him. It
you tickle him.
It yips. Yep. In pain, but you don't feel like you've done a ton. it is your turn, Octavia, and then we come back to the start of the round.
All right, I am going to hoist my quarterstaff above my head and bring it down with the power of Shillelagh on top of this Gnoll's head.
All right.
That is a 14 to hit.
AC 15.
Ah! Are you serious? Oh my gosh.
He's clinging to life itself, and maybe that gives it the extra motivation to dodge out of the way of your magically imbued staff.
Well, I'm gonna cast Shillelagh back on that staff as a bonus action then.
Oh, I don't think you have to cast it every time. I think it just stays for a while. Yeah, check the duration of Shillelagh. I think
true.
It lasts
That's true. I don't need to. Thank you.
Yeah. Yep.
Well,
all right.
In any case, he passed it.
He passed it. All right. It is the Gnolls' turn again, and
they need to roll some con saves.
I was gonna say both of them are still in this moonbeam. Neither of them moved because I don't want to take an opportunity attack. All right. So blue die is the more damaged one. Green die is the less damaged one. Constitution.
Correct.
Oh my gosh. 10 and 4.
They both fail, so they both get to take 2d10.
Dang it! Son of a gun.
Oh, I rolled really low. They both only take 4 damage.
Well, you kill one!
Yay!
The more damaged one just falls to its knees and disintegrates. The radiant damage just evaporates its fleshly form. The other one looks singed, but it is not going down yet. So, we have one attack against you, one attack against Karhun. Oh gosh, is there any die that hasn't failed me utterly? Let me try these two again.
Oh, it's really interesting. Both Karhun and I have taken 11 points of damage.
11 hit points? Well, I'm going to say my gnomish copper D20 is versus you, and the red speckly one is against Karhun.
Thanks, North Foundry.
Alright, here we go. Roll them.
Oh, bun. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Gnomish copper rolled a natural 6. That's a 10 versus AC. Red speckly rolled a natural 3. That's a 7 versus AC. I'm gonna guess both of those fail.
Both of those fail.
Man, it would be great if my monsters could hit anything.
I'm so sorry.
I mean, 6 Gnolls versus 2 level 3 people should be, that should be a relatively tough fight. It's not if they can't roll above a 7. Okay, so they both stab at you, but nothing. They don't hit. No purchase. You guys are like, man, we could just stand here and they couldn't hit us. Yeah, you know what? I think the one against you. It's gonna try to. No, it's gonna stay there for one more round. So it is Karhun's turn. He has one Gnoll in front of it.
He's just going to slash his great axe against that Gnoll once again. Oh, that's not great. That is a 13 to hit. I keep rolling badly.
13 to hit. Yep, that's a miss.
Oh my gosh.
Shoot, I should have moved that mole out of the moonbeam.
Yeah, because at the start of his turn, he's gonna get it again.
Son of a gun. Well, Gnolls have a -2 to intelligence, so...
Oh, they're so dumb!
Gnolls are pretty stupid. So yeah, it doesn't know what the scoop is.
Okay.
So Karhun misses, the Gnoll snarls at him, and then there's one in front of you. What do you do?
I attack it with my quarterstaff.
Alright, roll it.
Oh, that's a bit better. That is a 22 hit.
Your 20 hits.
Yes. All right. I am going to do some damage to it. I do 8 damage.
Well, that's great. Because you know how many hit points it had left?
7.
1. You smack him across the head, and its eyes just roll up into the back of its head, and it collapses limp to the ground.
Can I just do a little boop on the nose, and then it goes down?
Stupid. I should have moved them out of the moonbeam, but that's my own fault. So the last one, the one in front of you, the one in front of Karhun, still in the moonbeam. It's its turn. It rolls a Constitution saving throw. Please die. Don't roll below 10. Take a wild guess what it just rolled.
An 11?
Natural 1.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
I am not joking.
Bun!
I have not BS'd a roll this whole podcast so far.
You've rolled
As a
so
natural
terribly.
1. I have rolled garbage.
I am so sorry.
For 7 episodes.
I know. This wasn't even just today. Every single episode, you've rolled so
man.
bad.
All right. Well.
I'm so sorry, but here goes 2d10 worth of radiant damage.
2d10 versus. Yeah, you could end it here.
That's 17 points of radiant damage.
Yep. It had 7 hit points left. It's like in the end of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. It just turns into dust and is blown away by the wind.
Dust in the wind.
Man.
I'm so sorry.
I love Gnolls, but man, those Gnolls kind of sucked, huh?
We kind of made short work of them. Moonbeam is awesome, though. Am I right?
Moonbeam's pretty good. If they were a smarter enemy, they probably would have moved out of the range of it, but they have their intelligence score is 6.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Yeah, I mean, they're animalistic.
They're
like
so
I said,
dumb.
They love violence.
Yeah.
But they don't really, they have no higher brain function. They're monsters in this all senses of the word.
Yeah. Whew.
Man.
Yicey bitey.
This last Gnoll just disintegrates in front of Karhun's eyes. And you can dispel the moonbeam if you wish, but the night air becomes silent once again as you look around you at these scattered bodies everywhere. 6 of them. Some reduced to dust, some not. You both are panting, covered in sweat in the cold night air. The moon is shining brightly down upon you in this copse of trees. What do you do?
Man. Octavia will go up to Karhun and say, I think it was best if we continue north for even an hour or so beyond this place. Surely the stench of these gnolls will soon become more a scent to the air that we do not want to be associated with, so I think it would be best if we leave this place.
I agree. I am very anxious to leave all of this behind us. How have you fared during this battle?
I've taken 11 hit points of damage out of 29.
Okay, so I mean they did a little bit.
They did a little bit. We both. It's funny because Karhun and I both took 11 points of damage.
Well, you both have succeeded with flying colors.
Can we loot the bodies?
Yeah, so you guys look, these gnolls, each of them is wearing hide armor.
Oh.
Each of them has a crude wooden shield.
Okay.
And they all were carrying a spear, and there was a longbow strung across their back, but it doesn't appear that they have anything else of value. They don't really have any currency. They don't have money. They don't have, coin pouches. None of them are decked out in anything magical. Okay. They probably wouldn't know what to do with it if they had it, so.
They'd, try to eat it.
Yeah, basically.
Can I eat this ruby?
Eat it.
I'm assuming that carrying additional sets of hide armor would be kind of beyond my carrying capacity.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, this isn't Skyrim. You can't just hoard. You can't just hoard armors and offload them to
15
Bellathor.
sets of dragon bone.
Yep.
I missed Lydia.
You
Why
can't just
don't I
give 'em
have
all to
Lydia?
Lydia.
Oh my gosh, good old Lydia.
Karhun is not. I am sworn to carry your burdens.
Oh my gosh, that takes me back. That's fantastic. Now, hide armor wouldn't be better than what Karhun is wearing, right?
What's Karhun wearing
A
again?
chain
Remind me.
shirt?
Definitely not.
Okay. Are you serious with a +2 dex?
With a what?
+2 dex?
What's his AC?
15.
15? I mean, I don't have the PHB with me right now. But he likes his chain shirt. He does not seem like he wants to swap it out for this Gnoll armor.
Okay.
Hide armor is not something that, like, is hard to come by. He definitely could have bought some if he wanted to at any point.
I'm just wanting to make sure that my people are as protected as possible.
Yeah. It looks like he and his chain shirt have seen a lot.
Okay.
So.
Well, then I might pick up the longbow that one of them have.
Sure.
And, their quiver, but that's about it.
Okay. You can grab that, no problem. And you got, enough arrows.
Cool. I don't have to,
Enough.
scavenge the battlefield with a 50% chance of finding, half the amount that I had.
I'll say you've got enough arrows.
Okay, perfect. You don't want to go into arrow economy.
I mean, not right now.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Because I don't think that'll be your main form of call.
Yeah, no.
So you've got about a dozen or so arrows.
Okay.
That's good enough for me. So do you guys continue heading north?
Yeah, we continue heading north.
All right. So at this point, you've probably passed, where Lake Ansel would be on the north-south scale.
Okay.
So you went south, you scooped around west, and now you're heading north.
Yeah.
And so there's a good portion of grassland in between you and the city of Montignon, which is up, nestled in the northern reaches of Absalon's Tail of the mountain range. So you guys feel pretty confident that there aren't any other monsters trailing you.
Okay.
You haven't heard anything. So, do you continue walking? Is there anything you'd like to say to Karhun, or do the two of you just sort of continue on through the night? Do you find a place to rest? What's your plan?
I think that we probably continue on for about an hour or so, or maybe a couple hours before we find a place to rest. But then I think that we'd both want to, as soon as we kind of feel that we are outside of the reach of the monsters, we would want to find a place to rest.
Okay, are you looking for a specific, thing to rest in? It is, generally speaking, grassland.
I mean, if there could be some sort of copse of trees, if there is any sort of, bigger, larger hills, or larger kind of, the rolling hills leading up into the mountains, if there's any rocky ground that would provide a bit more cover, that is what we'd be looking for and keeping an eye out prior to bedding down.
Okay, roll me a survival check, please.
Do you want two? One for me and for Karhun?
Sure.
Okay. I roll...
Or you can choose.
Yeah, I'll roll 2 just in case. Karhun rolls a 9. I roll a... Sorry, you said survival, right?
Survival,
okay,
please.
Yeah. I rolled an 11. He rolled a 9.
Okay, you don't manage to find another copse of trees. You maybe find a sort of hilly region with maybe some boulders and a large sort of rocky outcropping that will give you enough shelter. Maybe not a ton of shelter, but enough that you feel like you can comfortably or spend the night without fear of too many things wandering upon your campsite. So you and Karhun settle in. He starts to, get his bedroll out and sorted. lights a fire, has some rations. Do you speak to him? Is there anything you'd like to know about him, or any burning questions you have to ask?
I mean, yes and no.
Okay.
She is interested in him as a messenger, but also disinterested in him due to his being an elf. But curiosity will win the day, and so she'll ask, Karhun, tell me about where you come from. Tell me about your family.
Come from. Well, as I said, I am a scholar from the city of Elistria. My family, I do not have much to speak of. My parents were... Well, they were. I don't have many fond memories, but I do not have many memories ill of them either. They provided me with a fine education, with a comfortable childhood. I went to the best universities in Elistria. I studied with the most profound researchers, and when I was of age, I left to make my own way in the world. I have no such family since then. I have not married. I have not mated. I have no children to speak of.
Do you have any siblings?
I, as many of the elven culture are, we are only children given to our long lives, much longer than that of the humans. We would very easily give way to overpopulation if there were many children to go around. So no, I am an only child. I have no siblings.
Octavia nods and kind of gestures for him to continue.
Well, Fortunately, my life has been relatively mundane up to this point. As I said, I studied at the universities at Elistria. I excelled in language, in history, in all things ancient. That is where my interests lied. That is how I think I have come to be in your service. Through my excelling, I briefly visited Montignon itself. In fact, when the tome of Belvidro was discovered, I was a junior member of the team that began with its translation into the modern elven tongue. My stay was not long, though. Other duties called me back to Elistria, and there I have been until I had the dream that has led me to you.
And where did you learn your prowess with this weapon that is not usually the weapon of a scholar? And she gestures to the great axe that he has.
Well, during my studies, we are often encouraged to find hobbies, if you will. I am sure it is no secret that elves live long lives, and as such we have much time to seek out and hone other crafts, and I was not taken to the study of the arcane like many of my brethren were, but I was always more interested in a well-forged blade, in the mastery of one's own body, in the art of combat. So in my time over the past 170 so years, I have trained as such, and I think I've gotten pretty good. What of you, Octavia? What of your life? I know I proposed this grand adventure, but I'll be honest, I know very little about you. I know that somehow you were touched by the gods, though how and why, I know not.
She looks into the fire that he had started and says, I come from a very different background than yours, as all of my family is human, and as such, life expectancy is nothing near the likes of, your kindred. However, I grew up much in the same area as you, as I grew up in the forest surrounding Illustria, and grew up as an herbalist who would often travel into your city to sell our wares, to aid in the rehabilitation of your people as well as mine. For, as you know, my parents and family are all human, even though I might be other than that. But circumstances, a misunderstanding, greater than misunderstanding, even though it's been just labeled as such, led my family to find more welcoming arms in the arms of, Ansel. And so that's where you found me there. My family being down a member. Having, we're not nobles, we're not really anybody, we're just merchants. That's all we've ever wanted to be.
Well, you seem like good stock to me.
We do what we can.
You definitely held your own against those gnolls back there. I thought that might be the end to a very short journey, but that went very good, no?
Oh, well, as much as the touch of the gods has led to almost a curse upon my life due to my difference, it has also led to certain blessings of power, maybe unasked for, that nonetheless have been able to protect me in the ways that I go.
He says, Are you prepared for what lies beyond? Those gnolls, they were strong, yes, we dispatched them quickly, but I fear there are greater challenges ahead, and even the city of Montignon itself, although not populated by these monsters that we've faced so far, is populated by a different breed, and perhaps equally as dangerous.
Am I prepared? Probably not. I've not encountered the different very often, besides being able to see from afar the horde of monsters that has surrounded my city for these past 15 years. Am I prepared? No. Is it what I think that I'm supposed to do? Yes.
What do you know of Montignon? I've been there briefly. I want to know what you've heard.
I'm sure you know much more than I, just from having been there. I know that it is a city up in the north that has succumbed to a horrible curse. Exactly what type of curse, I do not know. I don't know anyone who's actually ever been there. I don't know anyone who is from there. And so I was going to ask you what wisdom you would have with actually having been to a city that seems to have been shut away from the world long before the cities were shut by essence of the war.
Montignon is an interesting place. Montignon was once a city that has existed for many, many centuries. It was built by the elves long before those that you and I know as elves, long before my people. Built by those before the judgment. One of the few remaining great cities that we have found. As I said, I was part of the team that was interested in a tome that was discovered, the Tome of Belvidra, which is the source of much of what we know about the history before the Judgment up to this point. From that we learned of the Dragon War, in which our protectors had betrayed us and turned on us and forced the ancestors of my people deep into the recesses of the earth, informed us as the judgment of the god's hands cleansing the world from the evil which it had wrought, and any history we might know before that, but I was lucky enough to not be present during the curse, during the howling night, as they have come to call it, when our scholars delved too deeply and too greedily into the ancient lore and let loose a curse upon the entire city and all generations which would spring from it. It's a curse of lycanthropy, no? You've heard as much.
She nods.
Monsters who roam the streets freely, an entire city of beasts. It's enough to put any seasoned adventurer on edge. But it appears that is where we must go. So I think I'm up to the challenge. I think you are too.
I mean, I think that is... If that is where we are called to go, that is... We have to be up to the challenge. And...
Well, we have a long... Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that even though the curse of the beast might be upon these people, being bestial does not necessarily mean that one is evil, per se. And as having a connection with that aspect of even a humanoid's existence, there is not potentially as much to fear in the bestial as one might think.
As you are wise for your age, Octavia Sinclair. But we have a long journey ahead of us. I think it would do us both well to rest. And he sort of smiles at you and he says, I will take first watch. We get some sleep.
I think Octavia will insist on taking first watch.
Okay.
She trusts Karhun, but not implicitly.
Sure. Yeah, after some discussion, he will allow you to take first watch. But as an elf, he only requires 4 hours of meditation, not really sleep. So he sits down next to the fire and crosses his legs and just sort of closes his eyes and says, "Wake me in 4 hours, and I will take over from there."
Will do. And as Octavia keeps watch, she will kind of let her body kind of sink into not necessarily a meditative state, but kind of let that druidic nature, hear what a warrior might not be able to hear. Really hear the bunnies that are like far out, and hear the birds that are overhead, and kind of feel a calm that she's been unable to feel for years, because she's been almost trapped in this city-state in Lake Ansel. And a calm isn't necessarily going to settle over her, but a content is.
All right. So as you sit there, getting in touch with your natural side, Karhun begins meditating, and the night begins to wear on. And we will pick up here next episode.
Sounds good.
Hopefully I won't roll like garbage.
I'm like, I don't want you to roll like garbage because I can only imagine how frustrating that is, but I'm also like, yes, keep rolling ones.
Okay. Yep. Hopefully I won't roll another. How many ones? Oh, jeez.
You probably rolled another like 4 or 5 ones.
I roll a lot.
Yeah.
Let's just say I roll a lot. So we will catch up there. All right.
All right, dear listeners, if you like what you heard, please rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes. The best way for us to grow and reach more people like you is you to share us with your friends. So please tell your RPG group about us or any of your nerdy or non-nerdy friends that you think might be interested. And also, if you want to get in touch with us, please shoot us an email at memyspouseandadie@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from y'all, and we always try to respond to each message we get. Oh, and we also want to thank Syrinscape for the amazing atmosphere and music. Make sure you check them out at Syrinscape.com. That's SYRIN scape.com. Catch y'all next week!